What up, what up, what up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mr. Haddock here, and I just have to say, what a great day to learn some science. Today we're starting our new unit on cells. Uh, I'm excited, and I hope you are too. So, our unit standard is 7L1, which states understand the processes, structures, and functions of living organisms that enable them to survive, reproduce, and carry out the basic functions of life. Now, today's lesson, we're going to focus on 7L 1.3, which states summarize the hierarchical organization of multicellular organisms from cells to tissues to organs to systems to organisms. So let's get started. So our lesson 3.1 is we're looking at cell theory. The first thing I want you to do in your online notebook is I want you to copy these words and definitions down. These are all very important in order for you to be successful on the standard assessments and exams. So you need to make sure that you know these words in order to do well. These are all very important, and you will see these on a standard assessment in the future. So please make sure that you copy those down in your online notebook. Let's get started. The basics of cells. First off, what is a cell? A cell is a basic structural and functional unit of any living thing. Cells are the smallest working units of living organisms. You cannot get smaller than cells and still consider something living. So cells are that basic building block of life. It's the smallest piece you can get. Cells can be broken into two categories. The simpler ones are prokaryotes. Prokaryotes do not have a nucleus, and they also don't have specialized organelles in them. So they won't have things like lysosomes or chloroplasts. They also won't have things like Golgi bodies. The two kingdoms that fall under prokaryotes are bacteria or eubacteria and archaeobacteria. Those are the two kingdoms that prokaryotes include. Now, eukaryotes are probably the cells that you are more knowledgeable about. And these are the cells that do have a nucleus, and they do have specialized organelles. They have the Golgi bodies, they have chloroplasts, they have lysosomes and ribosomes and other things. And the kingdoms that eukaryotes encompass would be plants, animals, fungi, and protists. I wanted to just talk to you about those pictures on the right. The top picture is a picture of bacteria under an electron microscope, which is the most powerful type of microscope that scientists currently have. And images are usually gray when they are produced, and what ended up happening was a computer was then able to add the color into that image. The original image would have been black and white. The bottom left-hand corner, those purple cells, those are animal cells. Those dark purple dots would be the nucleus of the cell. And typically, in order to see those animal cells, scientists will use dyes to color them so they're easier to see underneath a microscope. So that's why those cells are purple. And then plant cells are the one on the bottom right, and those are green because they are plants, and those I don't believe are dyed or anything like that. So just three really cool pictures that scientists have gotten through technology. Let's talk about cell theory. Cell theory was first stated by Matthias Schladen and Theodore Schwann. What it does is it defines the roles of cells in living organisms. Now, these two were not necessarily the first to discover cells, but rather they were the first to kind of put or define the relationship that cells have with living organisms and life. So there are three components to cell theory, and you do need to know these three components. First off, all living organisms are made up of one or more cells. Every single thing that is considered life is made up of one or more cells. The cell is a structural and functional unit of all living organisms. It's the basic unit. That's the second thing. And the third thing is all cells come from pre-existing cells. Those are the three components of cell theory from these two gentlemen. Now let's talk about levels of organization. The smallest unit of life is cells. When you get a group of cells together, then they form a tissue. When a group of tissues form together, they form an organ. When a group of organs start working together, that creates an organ system. And when a group of organ systems are able to work together, that creates an organism. And that image over there on the right gives a really great visual of the relationship between these five terms. So please make sure that you understand these. It's relatively straightforward. It's nothing too complex or confusing for you. And that is the end of the notes, ladies and gentlemen. My work here is done. So have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to complete the reading. It is a great addition to this set of notes. So have a great day. Thank you for watching.